This is for Cosmiano Mark. Um, and so basically, this is his character concept. The first thing that I would say right off the bat is that the thing that's off to me is the perspective in the weapon itself. And so, the big thing I'm looking at when you look at this is that the weapon has no real sense of perspective. And so if I look at this, let's just kind of. So if you're looking at this, you've got this vanishing point goes to here, and this vanishing point kind of goes to here. But then look at how distorted this one is. And this is parallel to this here. So this isn't in a traditional perspective, and that's kind of, you can start seeing things are off a little bit here and there. Um, so for the most part, some of the things look right, but then you got some like this, which is sticking out, going off here. So definitely that needs adjustment and fixing. Um, and that's what I would say right off the bat. Um, the anatomy is not bad. It just has some things that I would definitely pay attention to. One would be the fact that, proportion of the head, if you want this gas mask to stick out a little bit more, you probably want to bring it up a little bit thicker. And then the problem is with her head looking down, it's killing your neck. So you might want to raise her head up a little bit more, and then also the proportion of the eyes are a little bit off, because the mask is going up and down, but the eyes are going diagonal. And so that's another thing that you want to look at. Um, just looking at general proportions and stuff, it's not too far off. The torso is a little bit long, but not horrible. Um, and so that looks relatively decent. Just you know, um, I would say the shoulder over here needs to move back. And then the other aspect is I would almost put the arm resting down, and I think that would create a better silhouette, like she's holding it. And then the weapon's kind of just floating there. So that's another aspect you might want to. I get you're attaching it to her exoskeleton, but you might want to just attach a strap or something like that, just to give it a sense of, otherwise it just feels like it's floating there. And then this here, like if you've got vanishing points going like this, and this is going in a diagonal tube, your diagonal tube is not it's going to see more of this. So that's another aspect that's kind of awkward and off. Painting wise, it's pretty basic. What you should do is, right now it's pretty much all orange, and you can see kind of just by doing this, there's not much color variation, especially in the skin. So what you would do is, in this case, what I would tell you to do right off the bat is I would go add some reds in here. Um, add some reds, especially where the skin is kind of bouncing in there. Add some reds on her elbow, a little bit more red in the cheek, that type of thing. And then the form on her belly feels a little bit off. It's because it's flattened here, and so what you want to do is you want to kind of bring out the different layers. Look at the reference. You want the hips popping out, things like that. So those are just different things that I would tell you to kind of push a little bit more as far as that goes. And then the t-shirt, if you're going to have it stretched like that, it's stretching in the wrong spots. You probably want to have it stretched longer. So, and then you want the darks kind of to kind of pop out as well. And then if you're going to make it dirty gray, then make it dirty gray, or use splatter brushes. Um, so if I just go with a dark, and then I'm going to add a saturated material here, we're just going to kind of grab something in like that and kind of, maybe it's an oil stain, and then maybe we'll add, let's just add a little bit of grime here, something like that. Maybe just a little bit of, what else we got here? We got some grunge brushes, maybe something like this, and so that's the type of things that you want to kind of add to add that grime and dirt on there, and that will kind of help sell your. You can probably multiply this, and that's going to help sell your piece as a whole. Um, so that's just one more thing that you want to kind of look at, and there's no real material difference too. Everything is a matte gray finish, so with the exception of this metal here. But if you're going to do that, if you're going to put a shiny metal here, then what you need to do is start adding in where the light's reflecting. So in this case, I would put in the highlights here, where it's reflecting off. I would add in, definitely add in much more highlighted pieces here. It, if you're going to be consistent here, then be consistent everywhere. You probably would have some sort of reflection going on here that's going to pop that side out as well. Um, so that's another aspect that you want to kind of look at as far as um, building up your information. And then don't forget that if you're going to go dirty or grimy, you can add wear and tear, like add some clothing rips, and you can kind of build that up. Maybe you got some leaves, or not, or like a rip, a tear, or something like that. Um, and then the same thing here, you want to add in, you know, uh, the darkness of, dirt and grime. So maybe this exhaust port here has some dirt on there. Maybe, you've got, just adding in just different amounts of information, where things have been kind of beaten up and grimy, and things like that are really going to kind of sell your piece. Maybe they've been grimy, but maybe a couple times you've wiped things off, or you want to add in scratches. Um, you know, so you want to get different layers of like maybe this corner's got a scratch on there. Where that reflection is kind of pushing out, and maybe it's got something like that where it's popping the surface out, and think about how the material is reacting with wear and tear and usage and things like that. And now she's got bands of leather all over the place, and she's got a different you know different straps and things like that. Maybe you want to implement some of this stuff into the canon as well, and that'll kind of help push it out as a little bit more too. Um, all right, so I hope that helps.